Hey folks, how you doing, wondering? Good evening, hope you're well. I think it's time I loaded a pipe. I haven't had a smoke since Friday afternoon. Puny Pipe Man, how you doing? Tamper Proof, how you doing? Yeah, I decided to do the London Calling tonight in the workshop. Currently working on this freehand head chip. Still got a lot of work to do yet, but the rough shaping is done, and now it's all about hand sanding. It'll be pretty lightweight as well. Hope you're all having a good weekend. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pipe. Not quite the shape I originally set out for, but still it's coming along very nicely. Right. Oh, you're coming over to London. Where again are you at the moment? Where are you based? Remind me. Michigan. You coming over for a work thing or a family thing? Well, either way, hit me up. Be in touch with me, and perhaps we can have a little meet up at JJ Fox's. Get a few guys to come along or not, whichever the case may be. If you've got spare time. Oh, right. Cool. What line of work are you in? I mean, you don't have to share it, but if you're okay with that. I think this mouse has given up the ghost. I mean, it works, but the wheel, the scrolling wheel, doesn't work anymore. I just bought. It's probably got too much dust in it and stuff. I'll keep it for emergencies. I just picked up a Logitech one for a tenner on Amazon. We'll see how long that one lasts. So as I say, I'm in the middle of working on this pipe. and we're giving it some nice sort of variety of shapes and angles and edges. A little bit of splicing going on there. I'm going to do the same on the top. You can see it just emerging there. I'm just going to be doing that gently. I don't want to go too far, otherwise I'll go through the shank, so I've got to be careful with that. It's the first time I'm doing anything like that, which is it's kind of unintentional, but I'm going with it. We've got some really nice markings on the ebonite. The stem is a single color. It's really nice. It's like a terracotta kind of color, and that's shaping up nicely too. Still got to do the slot. I've done a rough, you can see the hole there in the middle, but I still have to do the V slot and then just tidy up the overall look of it. But the shaping of it I'm liking a lot. That's looking good. Fits well with the pipe. And here we've got a nice curve going on. It's all about the curves. All have to still be fine-tuned, but it's coming along nicely. Very interesting, sort of a half smooth rim and half plateau. So that's quite an interesting look. Lots of grain on there. You can see the grain. Some nice flame grain on that. And some nice bird's eye on the base. And hopefully some bird's eye on the rim here. But it's going well so far. I was watching Andrew Sirigliano's video earlier on. If you haven't subscribed to him, it's a nice channel to follow. He's a nice guy, lovely guy. Bluefin Piper is what he used to be known as. I'm not sure. I think his channel is just Andrew Sirigliano now. I don't think it's Bluefin Piper anymore. Not sure. Anyway, he did a recap, a really nice recap on the Las Vegas show. And he was one of the winners of one of the raffles there. He won an awesome pipe. Really nice prize he won. So I really enjoyed his video. Pipe 655 sold today, which I'm happy about. I was surprised that it sat there. It sat there for a week or two, but actually a beautiful pipe, beautiful grain, nice stem, really nice pipe. And there is a non-filtered pipe up there now as well, pipe 662, I think it is, which went up on Friday. So we'll see what happens with that. Really nice, short Liverpool, I'll call it. Good evening, Gum Chum. What are my signature details? We were talking about that just the other day. If you look back at one of my morning videos, I talk about that. I'll go into some of those details. Hey Patrick, how you doing? Smoking my rosebud. with some Oreck golden sliced. Which is tasting delicious. I will say that this jar is tasting better than the jar I've got upstairs. In my last few bowls, I've been having a mixture of Erin Moore Flake and Oreck golden sliced, which has been nice as well. But it's nice to just come back to original Oreck golden sliced. Yeah, so the cauldron shape is kind of the 626. It's kind of grown out of the. I'm trying to remember if that came after the Bone Nord one that I did. In other words, this one. To be honest, I don't recall which one came first, but one is certainly grown out of the other. I think 626, which is the cauldron. Yeah, it's definitely wider, the 626. If I remember correctly, the 626 was originally going to be an apple type thing. And when I was shaping it, there was an issue with it and I had to sand past it. And it ended up being that shape, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's how the 626 came about. As I say, it's not a unique shape. Other pipe makers do similar stuff. It wasn't an intended take on anybody else's shape. It just was born out of the need to reshape as I was shaping a pipe, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to it. The rosebud definitely came from, and I've done a few of them now, but it definitely came from an attempt to make the Bone Nord pot, which was Bone Nord's own pipe. And I just wanted to do a tribute to it because I really like Bone Nord pipes, and I've made quite a few of the shapes, or my versions of them anyway. So I wanted to do a tribute to his own pipe that he liked so much. And that's what this pipe was supposed to be. But again, because of the pipe issues, the bowl, whatever it was at the time, I had to, I think it was too short as well. And if I would, because Bone Nord's pipe doesn't have a plateau top. It's a smooth top. If I would have taken it down to make a smooth top, I'd have had to have gone to the lowest part of the plateau to make it level, which would have made it a tiny pipe. And I didn't want to do that. So that's why it ended up like this. And because it has this plateau and then it goes in just underneath the plateau, it really has that kind of rosebud look to it, you know, a rosebud after it's dropped all its leaves. And I actually just like it. It just really is a nice shape. And I've done a couple of these since, I think, or at least one, and they're really nice. They're a really nice. They're all kind of variations. I mean, 626, this one, they're kind of variations of each other, and this one, I guess, is also a kind of a variation of that. I've still got to finalize what the junction is going to look like. I've got the curve going there. It looks a bit better on this side, I think, because it comes in a little bit more there. So probably I need to do the same thing, a little bit more on this side. I think that's one of the biggest challenges for a pipe maker, is getting balance on the shape when you're trying to do a symmetrical shape. If you're doing an asymmetrical shape, but truth of the matter is, even asymmetry needs to be symmetrical, if that makes sense, because just to do a completely wacky shape which has no symmetry or design to it, you can tell that it just doesn't look good. I mean, generally, not always, but I guess sometimes it might. But when you're doing a pipe, so for instance, you got the junction there as it goes to the bowl, that side and that side, they need to be identical. It's one of the hardest things to do, I think, in pipe making. So there's still a little bit of refining to do there. But you've got to start off with a shank. The shank's got to look pretty symmetrical. And this one's looking pretty good. It's not a million miles off. That needs to come in just a touch on that side. But that's probably, I find often that's quite difficult, is getting the exact mirror image on both sides. And that's not so much down to ability, well, it is down to ability, but it's not so much down to that as to having a symmetrical eye and knowing when to continue and when to stop. Well, it's fireworks night tonight here in the UK. Guy Fawkes night, commemorating Guido Fawkes trying to blow up the House of Parliament. It was a bit of a washout tonight because of the weather. A lot of places got rain, so you can hear the fireworks going off all the time, but I don't know, seems to be less than previous years. Remember the 5th of November. I think we've got Black Friday coming up soon. Hey, Jeremy. I don't make a big deal out of Black Friday because I find most of it it's the same as going to the sales, really. I was just talking to my daughter about it earlier on. I think the way to handle Black Friday, I mean, here we have also, I assume you have it there as well, Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day. So this past Amazon Prime Day, I bought the air conditioners. It's something that I needed and was looking for, and found them at a great price. And the way to do it is, if you have something that you particularly need and that I've been looking for, then by all means go find it on Black Friday. But when you're just browsing the deals on Black Friday with nothing in particular that you need, you always find something that you fancy and spend money on it when you don't really need it. So for instance, I've been wanting to get a sandblasting cabinet for a while. If I was to see one going really cheap, then I might click, pull the trigger and get one, because I need one anyway. I may not have bought it right now, but if a deal comes up for the right money, then why not? But I'm a little bit cynical about these things, about all these official sales, because they still have to make their money, and if they're telling you something is half the price, then either it's a poor product, or they're making so much profit the rest of the year that they're really ripping you off. It's just started, it's been sort of drizzling all day, on and off raining, but it's just really started to rain properly just now. Let's put the bucket under the drip. So let's have a bit of a bowl call. I don't often do that, but what's everybody smoking? Hey, Todd. McBaron HH Pure Virginia for Tony from Rhode Island. I haven't had Pure Virginia in a long time. I do have a tin or two upstairs. I went to the bookshop in a Professor Walker pipe. Half and half in a homemade pipe. Nice. Homemade pipes are the best. Northwoods lately. Good one, Jeremy. James picked up some Triple Crown. I've heard this Triple Crown mentioned a few times by people recently. Oh, nice. Had a pipe meet up. Escudo. Nice. Highgate. Excuse me just a second, guys. I was just responding to a guy. I took photos of his son's bar mitzvah a while ago, and the guy, I'm not sure if he's an American or what, It looks like it's coming from a foreign phone number. Anyway, he sent me a WhatsApp saying he's getting upset. He's waiting for his pictures. So I said, you can get as upset as you like. I sent you the link already like a week ago. So we'll see what he says to that. Vapor medallion with black Cavendish Centre. All right, another one of those. Mark Wesley is smoking OGS, watching hockey. Toy smoking OGS. What? I'm smoking OGS, yeah. Regular OGS. As I mentioned earlier on, I have been smoking a mixture of Erinmore and OGS recently, but today I've gone back to basics. As I said as well earlier, for some reason this jar is tastier than the one upstairs. I mean, I couldn't have opened this tin that long ago, but I don't remember what year the tin was from. I've got tins ranging from like 2018, 19, 20, 21. I've got almost from every year from the last 5 years. Yeah, I'm smoking OGS. When you smoke a tobacco regularly, I guess you start to see the differences between each tin. You can tell the differences. And I'm still trying to really get down to which year I'm enjoying the most right now, so that it'll help me know for the future how old I want the tins to be before I crack them. I should have taken note on this tin. I tried that Brebbia number 9 Latakia flake. I cracked open a tin from 2010. I think I did a video on it. Oh man, Jeff, that's crazy. You've sent me stuff before, haven't you? He's reading the wrong address, that's all. He's reading the shipped from address rather than the shipped to address. Maybe you need to put that clearly. Ship to. Well, whenever it gets here, Jeff, don't worry. Hey, Cole. Collas and Cop. Well, Robert McConnell, I think Collas and Cop possibly does their tobacco. Not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. I was on a Zoom last week. Well, earlier this week. We were talking about tobaccos, and yeah, Andrew, I was talking about you before. So there you go, guys. Andrew Sirigliano. If you want to check out his channel, just click on his name and you've got the 3 dots. Go to channel. Anyway, so you can see the prize that he won. I was talking about your recap video before. He won a gorgeous pipe at the Las Vegas pipe show. Alright, Andrew. We need to do a thing video anyway. We've been threatening to do it for a while. Do a tasting video. So for those who have joined a little bit more latterly, this is a pipe I'm in the middle of at the moment. Well, it's getting there for sure. It's certainly an interesting shape. And what's more interesting is I've never done splicing before. So I'm going to see how that works out. And I've just started it on this side. It's a new thing for me. And I kind of got onto it unintentionally. But it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Well, essentially, you've got this, which is you cut the briar shank down, slide this over it, and then you sand through the ebonite till it reaches the briar beneath. Obviously, I have to be careful not to go too far, otherwise I'll go right through into the mortise. But I'm no expert on it. As I say, this was unintentional. But because I wanted to get a really good S shape, I decided that I'm going to do it and see how it works out. But I'm no expert on it, and I've got a lot to learn if I want to do it in the future. I mean, it looks good, but so you can see there. So I've got to be careful not to go too far, otherwise I'll go right through it. But I really like this. This is like a terracotta, like a clay kind of colour. It's a single colour. It's ebonite, but it's like a pastel-y, like a terracotta kind of colour. I just like the look of it. It's got a very organic kind of look to it. It's quite Although it does shine up a bit, it's still quite a matte finish. And I just like the look of it. It just has this real, I don't know, it just has a good tactile kind of feel to it in a visual kind of way, even though I'm saying tactile. But it's got a nice, I like the idea of this single color. It kind of contrasts very well with a darker brown, and the darker brown has got shades of lighter in it, as you can see. It's got a nice design there in this ebonite, so it kind of it contrasts very, very well. We'll see how the splicing comes out. If it comes out well, I'll offer it out for sale. If not, I'll probably keep it. But at the moment, it looks like it should be fine. It's the rest of the pipe which I'm really keen on seeing the result. It's got some nice grain. You can see the grain there. There's lots of grain on it, and hopefully it will work out well. It's really lightweight as well. It'll be a great clenching pipe. Any jurors? Yeah, indeed, the drilling is bang on. There is actually a very, very slight, when I designed it, it's really up like that, with the stem coming back and the bulb being forward canted, but when you hold it, I can actually leave it straight like that, and it'll be fine. I think that it maybe works better left straight because of the way this sort of fans out and that goes back down. I think it might look better just left as it is. Bending that might disturb the eye line, I think. You know, your eye travels along this line and it kind of just continues in a straight line. If you bend it, I think it'll spoil the way your eye runs across the pipe. Still got to fine-tune this junction. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. Suspicious Ninja, good evening to you. I think we've seen you before, haven't we? Good for you, good for you. Well, I think I'm done for this evening, unless anybody's got anything in particular they want to talk about. I've spoken about what I want to speak. If I'd have been upstairs, maybe I'd have had more to talk about, showed you some more tobaccos or pipes, but still over here. Clarkson's farm is actually pretty good. We haven't been going that long, 45 minutes. But I don't like to waffle if I've got nothing to say. So if you guys want to talk about any topic at all, pipe related, tobacco related, or anything cigar related, more than happy to oblige. But I don't want to just leave open air, dead air, white noise. I guess I could carry on working on the pipe, but sounding is boring for you guys to watch. All right. Okay, folks, thanks very much for joining. I'm going to wish you all well. Thank you, Patrick, Pipe Wandering, Suspicious Ninja, Jez Piper, Puny Man Piper, Jeff, Andrew, Cole, Patrick, Tony from Rhode Island, Mark Wesley, Jeremy Biz, Little Piper Todd, Glumchong, Tamper Proof, Stevie O. Gilmore, how you doing? Didn't see you come in. Have a great evening, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll catch you on the next one.